This is gonna be the very first system I've built. I even grabbed me one of those like Chinese motherboard kits. I hope it just doesn't have like built-in spyware or mining software. We'll find out. But this is gonna be a fun little project for us. So let's see what we can do. I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna take it out the box and start putting it together. So let's get started. All right, get you out of the box. Come on. Oh, it's so big. It's a big boy. It's a very big boy. Jesus goodness, man. All right, Brev. Oh my goodness, man. Let me just make sure I get all the components up out of here. So, all right. Whew. Okay. Oh, okay. The little mesh, filter mesh thingamabobs. You know, put those over here. Maybe got your case thing over here. All right. Let's figure it out. Okay. All right. Let's whew. Ow! Shocked me. All right. Man, look at her. She is gorgeous. Oh man, you look at this and you're like, yeah, fam, this is it right here. The one and only you're probably gonna need. But it also wants you to take the also the back out as well. It might be the same screws. I'm gonna have to go back there and see. But the back for like the fan and where the power supply would go into. So we're going in this pretty blind. I said I haven't done this. I have not built my own system before. So, and of all things, I'm doing this with a NAS case. All right, and now let's go to the back. Well, first, can I lift this up now? Right? Yes, I can. All right. Oh, I didn't even talk about what I even got to. Yeah, I'll probably run through that real quick. I guess I'll put you over here. So yeah, right, Jonsbo N5 Case. The 33060s. I have a power supply that is PCIe 5.0 ready. Not that I think it even matter, but 1300 watts because I feel like I'm probably going to be running some series here. The motherboard, I wish I could tell you the specifications right now. I don't remember, but it is dual CPU. So there's two CPU slots on there, which is why I have two CPU fans. I have 4 2TB hard drives. The reason why I went with just 2TB hard drives, so I have a NAS, I have a QNAP NAS, and I wanted to start off with unraid. Using unraid, I wanted to start off with small hard drives just so I can get like the initial setup going with all the things working. And then the beauty about unraid is that they let you mix and max hard drives. So then that's when I'm going to start upgrading hard drives over time, maybe to 16 or 20 terabyte hard drives. We'll see. The 4 1 terabyte solid state drives, that's 2 of those is going to be for catch. 1 is going to be for my VM machines, the other one's going to be for my Docker machines. And I have a M2 to SATA adapter expander, just in case I need it. I don't think I'm going to need it, but you never know. So, alright, so all that's in there. So now, going back to the manual, let me see what I need to do here, right? So I guess, okay, so they want you to definitely do the power supply first. I was going to do the motherboard first, but fine. I guess I'll do the power supply one step at a time. So let's go ahead and let's pull out these fans. Where'd I put my drill at? I lost my drill. Okay. All right, and should just be able to pull it out, right? Yeah, see? Awesome. She looked good. You look good. You look good. Okay, now we go ahead and we slide her in here, but I feel like I should have the wires plugged up to this first, right? What is this? SATA power. I see SATA power. What are those big things over there? Okay, so those are the fans. So I guess those 2 fans must go into those. Okay. There is, let me see here. I see 1, 2, 3, 4. So 4 SATA connectors over here on this side, and then another 8 on this side. That gives you a total of 12. And there's only one thing for SATA power. So I guess, well, 2, because there's like one, I guess, board for the 8 on this side, and then there's another board with the 4 on this side over here on the right. And it looks like to me, Yeah, you just need to just power those two. Do I have for two, right? ID Sata? I think so. I have no idea. I guess we'll find out. Alright, so I'm probably gonna want to put the wires on here first. Let's see what we can do here. What is this even to? I don't even know what this is. What is this for? I don't know. I'll put you right there. But let me crack you open, and my God, a lot of wires. Alright, so like my my battery died. Guys, this is all brand new to me, so I'm really sorry that this is going to be a really rough looking video, but I think it'd be good to actually capture my journey in learning how to do all the stuff here, to include actually the back end stuff of recording proper videos. But kind of what I was saying was, so I got the motherboard in. It was quite a little bit of work to get in, just because of the size and all of the wires. I did have to move the wires around because I forgot that. Yeah, I can see. I don't know if you guys can see it. I'm hoping this is. Let me see. Can I tighten you up here? Ooh, man, that sounds terrible. But the two CPUs have their power supply on two separate ends, so I had to move that wire over there, shift that around. I decided the manual, the case manual wanted me to have the SATA cables coming out on this end. I ended up putting it on that end, so I'm gonna just use this end instead. But yeah, and then these are, I moved the wires a little bit closer to this side here, where the SATA cable is supposed to be, because this is supposed to be for the graphics cards anyway, assuming they're not like crazy big. But we'll find out, right? Otherwise, I might, I guess, try to wiggle them through here. But I want to save these for the actual SATA cords, so we'll see. But man, it's quite a bit of some work for sure. And even working with this camera is even some work. And as you can kind of see down there, let me try and. Okay, I'm gonna just stop using the autofocus. Autofocus is like really messing with me. Can I manually? Yeah, there we go. Let me just manually just do it myself here. Yeah, you see my wires are just like atrocious. But now let's go ahead and I'm going to just plug up everything. That's going to be self-explanatory, right? Don't need nothing crazy with that. Just put the wires where they're supposed to be. The CPU has these 8 pins. And what I was saying before, again, just to reiterate, as a matter of fact, I could just probably, let me see if the camera can even show you, right? CPU gets all 8 metal pins. It's the power supply that gets the missing metal ends. With the exception of the long ATX wire, apparently the long ATX one, the missing pin goes into the motherboard, according to the PSU manual. So I'm relying more on the PSU manual than anything else for like how these wires are, since obviously the wires came with the PSU. But yeah, so let's go ahead and let's let me just plug this stuff up. I'll clean up the wires and then we'll pick it up from there. Oh, one more quick thing too, before I forget, is about that M2, little adapter thing. So the screw that came in the motherboard fit almost perfectly. When I tried tightening it, it had a small little groove for the M2 to kind of like, I guess you could say like latch on. And so that when you tighten it, it'll latch onto the screw, right? Because it has a little groove that it would fit in. And then of course the screw would keep it down. As I kept tightening it, it kept squeezing out. So what I ended up doing is, where did these come from? The stuff that came with the case has these little red, what I guess are washers, right? These little red washers. I took a pair of scissors and sliced like one end of it so that way I could like bend it open, and so that way I actually worked it around the screw in that groove to kind of give it more wider, I guess, wider surface area to catch on to the M2, to the little the M2 adapter thing, and that seemed to have worked actually perfectly. It took me a second, because I had to be careful trying to get it to go around the screw without actually like fully tearing it or breaking it. Was a little tough, but I got it to work. So now that that's done, we have just about everything that we can have plugged up. We're going to wait for the the SATA cables. I'm gonna move you guys over here. We're gonna wait for the SATA cables so I can get the SATA cords on there, because like I said, I don't want to have to go through that again. So that way we'll get all of these SATA cables, or at least SATA slots, kind of plugged up where they need to be. And all 12 will be used, right? The 10 that the motherboard comes with, and the 6 on that M2 adapter. Yeah. And then one on a side note for this motherboard, because it has like two, because of the motherboard screw that where it's positioned at, there's like these last two orange SATA ports that have a little bit more extra space towards this side. So I dedicated those two to the furthest slots over here, so that way you know, that can be all taken care of. So with that being said, we're done here. We're gonna wait for the mail, whatever that is, and I'm going to start trying to at least I'm not going to clean. I'm going to just wait, because I'm just going to have more mess anyway. Although I will probably take some boxes that I know I'm going to throw away and probably hang them out. But yeah, everything else looks good. Everything will be, every single port in here just about be used, besides some of the technical stuff like these JCOM, these JCOM and JLPC little things. Everything else will be good. And you know, when we get to these CPU fans, it's going to be a pain, because I'm not used to it. But yeah, that'll be that. So, all right, let's go. Due to the length of these particular fans here, but I guess all case fans are probably short corded anyway. These came with extensions, which I thought was like pretty cool. So I was able to work the extension, because remember there's there's a case fan port on this side, so I was able to just plug the extension, get it through here, right? And then of course I'll be able to just use this line right here to get it down. The M2 slots are over here, but I'm planning on putting a TPU unit here and the 10 gig converter thing over here on this side. So there should definitely, like the cord shouldn't get in the way of that. There'll be plenty of space for it, so I won't have to worry about that. Let me see what else I got here. So now I'm about to do the CPU fans, which I said I picked these up from Alibaba. The cool thing about these is that they came with thermal paste, which I was actually kind of surprised, because I already have my own thermal paste, but had these little packet things, which I guess we'll use. It doesn't look like much, I guess, but I guess if I use it properly, maybe it should be. Well, we have more just in case, but I don't know about mixing thermal paste. Anyway, so now I'm just mounting the brackets. I'm using the ones that came with the motherboard instead of what came with these CPU fans. But I am using the screws that the CPU fans came with, because the motherboard did not come with screws apparently. So I'm just screwing these in. I'll use a screwdriver to tighten those in a moment. But I'm making sure I mount these, this mounting thing in a manner to which the CPU fans clips will catch on. And I made sure to arrange it to where I want the fans to blow. Because for these particular fans, not every fan, but a lot of fans have little, you're not going to be able to see it on here because I'm not going to be able to adjust it. But there's like arrows on these fans that tells you the airflow, which direction airflow is going. And I want the CPU fans to blow out this way, because I'm going to have these as exhaust as well. So that's where I'm going with so far. And that's where I'm at. So we'll see what happens next. Okay. Definitely a lot harder than I thought. Once these CPU fans is on here, there's no, I don't think I'm gonna be able to take them back off. So I had to make sure I do it the right way. But we're almost done, almost there. All right, we're at our stopping point for today, because I have to wait for my, what is it called? SATA power extension cables in order for my SATA, my SSD idea to work. But here it is, all right? This was quite some pain. The RAM cards, there's like very little. Hold on, let me get you to zoom, focus there. But the RAM cards were really, really hard to get in there. My God, there's like no clearance. I had to push this over just to get like that millimeter to squeeze that up in there. As you can see, you can even see it better on this side, right? See, because it just overarches. But the RAM cards, at least the particular ones I had, were short enough the way it worked. Yeah, this will be a one and done kind of build for sure. It's gonna be such a pain when I have to actually change out the motherboard. My God, I don't know if I can do this. All right, I'm approaching the end. We finally got the last bit of things we were waiting on in the mail for everything. It's a mess because I just don't know how to operate in any other fashion. Okay, you see, we just removed the what is this thing called? The graphic card things. You know what? I'm gonna bring you a little closer here, so you see something. Right? We took out the graphic cards real quick because silly me forgot that there's no motherboard battery in here. I forgot to put that in there. So, and of course, you know, the graphics cards, because NVIDIA don't know how to make anything like not like a quarter of the size of a toaster. Rest in peace, the 50 series. But I needed to pull those out so I can go ahead and throw the motherboard battery in here. And then we went and got, now that we have our other two M2 modules, because we was going to need to put those in there anyway, we can go ahead and do that now. And then that's it. I also have my 4th solid state SSD. It's not this one. It's this baby here, Timeskip, whatever it is. But yeah, so we're gonna go ahead and throw the M2 devices up in there. Then we'll go ahead and set up our SSDs. And then before I put the graphics cards back in here, then we're going to actually clean up the wiring first, so while I have the space to do so. And then we'll put the graphics cards in there. We're going to do a test power test one more time. Make sure we don't get no beeps or nothing odd when we cut it on, right? To make sure everything's working. And then after that, then we will then we'll finish up with some cable management at the bottom because we would already done the top. And then we'll close her all up and hopefully everything's good. But yeah, you know, we got, like I said, the other SSD. We'll throw the motherboard battery in there. Our dual edge, you don't see it through this bubble wrap, but our little dual edge TPU module. And then yeah, and then like it's in the box right now. I didn't take it out the box, but then the 10 gig network thing for the M2. So with that being said, let me go ahead now and knock that stuff out. All right, moment of truth. Let's find out if we did good. So I have everything plugged up. I did a little bit of some cable management, sort of, kind of. I know it doesn't look like it, but I when the day comes where I need to come back to this, it'll be very easy for me to go through this. With that being said, let's go ahead and cut her on. Make sure that right. Press the button. I think. All right, and this is why we do the test before we do anything. I wonder what I did wrong. Let's find out. Yeah, we'll have to stop. Okay, yeah, motherboard cord wasn't in properly, but as you can see, I still got some work to do. So, all right, I found the culprit. It was. Can I get you to focus? Well. See if I can hover this down. I don't even know if you guys are even gonna be able to see it. Let me move my thing over here and push it. Come on. Well, sorry, kind of short on hands here. How do I? So this button. Well, I guess this will do, right? And then there we go. Yep. So these, if you notice, those two little buttons there, they're also power buttons. I have not seen a motherboard quite like that. But what it was just one of the cord. So when I installed the GPU in, sorry, it's a little blurry there. But when I installed the GPU in, the cord shifted perfectly between it and the button. And yeah, so whenever it had power,
it would immediately turn on the computer, and then because it's still pressing on a button, just like how you would hard power off something, that's exactly what was going on. So I just wiggled it, so I just like arranged it between the button. You can kind of, I don't know if you can kind of see it, but I kind of arranged it between like the button and the little ports over there. So hopefully that should do the trick there. And there is enough clearance between the motherboard and the button, so it's motherboard, the GPU and the button, but with the cord being in between them, it was pushing on the button. So this should take care of that. So now let's go ahead, put it together, give it another try, and we should be good. All right, now let's go ahead and try her again one last time there. All right, sounds good, looks good. Yeah, that initial like swirly noise kind of scares me at first, but looks like it's good there. So, all right, and that looks good. That does look good. Try to. Yeah, no beeping, no noise. Sounds good. So now what we're gonna do is we're going to, clean up the back over there, right? Put the fan in, put everything else back on it. Then we'll go ahead and we'll pop up a monitor somewhere, right? So I can plug her up, at least get some BIOS info, at least see if I get the BIOS screen. And I want to say we're approaching their completion. Oh, I actually forgot to mention. Hold on, let me see if I can grab it here. My little so I actually did not know this, but yeah, I did not know this, but this dual edge TPU module I was getting was a different key than what my motherboard had. What was it? I forgot the name already. M key? No. Yes, E key. It was an E key. So it was an E key, and all the M2 slots on my motherboard were M keys. So I guess maybe it just so happens that all the other M2 stuff I was ordering just so happened to be right, I suppose. But yeah, so I had to order a adapter from Taiwan. I have no idea when that's going to get there, but when it does get there, I'll pop this open, take the GPUs up out again, but it should be easy for me to just slide that in there, the adapter and then the slot, hoping, fingers crossed, that there is enough real estate or enough gap. It should be. I think there should be. We'll find out, but enough gap to fit both the adapter and the actual little module thing in there. But I'm comfortable with where things are, so we'll go ahead and we will clean up, get her plugged up to a monitor, and we'll go from there. Alright guys, we just about finished. So some quick things I just want to point out. I totally forgot to put the backplate shield thing for the ports and stuff, and that was very, very, very regrettable, because as you would imagine, I had to unscrew the motherboard from the base and try to shift it so I can squeeze that in there. But this wasn't until after trying really, really hard not to have to do that. Hence is why the shielding is a little bit warped or bent, as you can kind of see a little bit from the reflection. But with that being said, everything works pretty good for now. Some notable things I'm just going to mention real quick. It's a bit of a tight fit for the PSU with all the cords and stuff, but I got it in there, and screwed it in. Cord management was pretty decent. The filters for the sides and the back right of the case, horrible. They're some type of tape that they put on it. I really would have thought they would have made it magnetic. But no, it's some type of sticky material that you just stick on there, which is just kind of crazy to me, because I prefer the magnetic ones where I could just like peel them off so that I could just wash them or run them under some water real quick and do that. What else is there to kind of talk about? Because it is a tight fit, as you guys saw in the top, I had to be careful, kind of like what you guys saw earlier, right? Turn it on and then it would cut off, and then sometimes it would cut itself on, and that's just because the wire, one of the cords slid in between one of the GPUs and the button on this particular motherboard. So this particular motherboard has a power button physically on it that the cord was like pushing on. And so after that, you know, we moved that around, wiggled some things, and yeah, everything's working pretty good. The only thing I just got to do now is I just got to test to make sure that when I power it on, it definitely stays on, because initially it wasn't staying on. And I think that was just because I didn't have no OS or anything on it. So I put in my flash drive that has unraid on it, and it stayed on for the limited time that I had available to kind of test it, because it was like 3 in the morning. But I was able to get it working, hence is why I like had the little monitor there. So now what I'm going to do is I'm a clean up now, because I got a lot of stuff all around the place. But I'm going to clean up, and then we will actually set everything up how I actually want it to be set up with all of my things. Cut her on, and then we'll get into the BIOS and make sure everything's like all handy dandy. So let's we'll pick it back up right there. All right, guys, we are nearly done. I was able to get into the BIOS. I'll talk about that later, but I just wanted to just record that it is on. It's been on for about a day now. It is stable, so I just really wanted to make sure that there wasn't no underlying issue with those initial problems I was having. So indeed, it was just like the cords just pushing on the motherboard button. But it's running. I am using the little memtest thing that once this finishes, this has been running for about 11 hours now, as you can see. Once that is done, then we'll go into unraid, but we are just about done here. I was able to get into the BIOS. Both CPUs are there, and everything looks good. The RAM in total is like I guess in total use is like around 95 gigs, which I think I gotta double check the cards to see like what were they rated for. I thought they were 32 gigs each, but I could have been wrong. I'll check back on that in a moment. But yeah, everything's looking good so far. The initial test I did do off camera. When I was trying to figure out to get into the BIOS, unraid boots up perfectly fine. Once you have it plugged up to the router, as long as you remember the name that you gave it. If you didn't give it a name, then it's just called Tower. You can just actually go straight to the web GUI in order to actually get it set up. So last thing we're just gonna need to do is go into once this is done, we'll go into unraid. We will try to find a way to see if we can confirm that all 3 GPU cards are working. Both CPUs are working, so I don't know. I'm not too sure if there'd be a reason why all 3 don't work. I have a suspicion, but we'll find out in a moment. Maybe I wiggle something loose. I don't know. But yeah, that's where we're at. And I'll follow back shortly. Alright guys, we are just about done. Memtest, I stopped it after it completed 3 passes. It took it about 22 hours for 96 gigs of RAM roughly. So now the only thing that's just left to do is going to be the hard drives. So since we've like went through the trouble of making sure R12 for the SATA ports were already plugged up to the motherboard, all we just need to do now is literally just pop the hard drives in, and then we're done. One of the cool things is that what are these? I don't even know what you call them, but like these are meant to like make it easy to pull in and out the hard drives. So I'm gonna go ahead and pop these in real quick. And remember, we started off with 4 2TB hard drives. You know, the goal is just to get our unraid setup up and running initially. One of the nice things with unraid is that later on when we start upgrading hard drives, we can literally just put in larger hard drives and they'll be able to use it just fine. Although just keep in mind your first parity hard drive has to be the biggest one. So even though I'm starting with 4 2TB hard drives, you know, once I upgrade to like 12 or 20 or whatever it is, right? That first one, I'm not even going to be able to even use it because it's got to be the parity. It's going to have to be the parity drive first. So I won't even start seeing increase in space until the second hard drive is put in. So with that being said, yeah, let's go. Well, besides, of course, obviously the other 2TB that won't no longer be parity, it just be part of the RAID space. So let me go ahead and figure out how to put these in, and then we'll wrap this all up. All right. So just as a quick note, right? So hard drives go in. you know, obviously this one's easy, right? Because it's just facing down, ports on the back. These ones is going to be right side. So you're going to, if it's flat, right side and insert it in. You have these, can I even see? Ooh, there's a hard one to see there. Can we focus? We can. These little things here, right? So it comes with screws. And what you're going to do is you're just simply going to, isn't there a button for this thing? Bam. All right. Right. What you're going to do is on the port side, right? You're going to put 2 of those in. I hand tighten these. Yeah. Then you put this up front so that you're able to grab these when you want to pull them out. So let me kind of see if I can refocus that. So that's what that is. I am going to take that one out, that one on the end out, and put it up on the front with the rest of these. But yeah, let's go ahead and knock this out. All right, we're now done. We're gonna go ahead and close this up, cut her on, and we're going to continue this with setting up unraid now. I am going to do a pre-check, I think is what they call it, where you're testing the entire hard drives to make sure they actually are good and working. It's apparently good practice, so that's what I'm gonna do. All right, with that being said, it's time to go ahead and wrap this video up. Thanks again, guys.